English language might actually be the biggest thief in history. Because how are you going to tell me words I've heard my whole life and not even originally English? Apparently, Germany has just been letting America borrow its vocabularies for free. I already know this is about to expose the English language as one giant group project with no original ideas. So without wasting any much of your time, let's head right in and find out which words have been German in disguise the entire time.
Let's start with one of the most known ones, and that is kindergarten. In German, we pronounce it Kindergarten, and it literally means children's garden. And even though the word is used in a very similar way in the two languages, it's not 100% the same. In Germany, kindergarten isn't part of the school system, but it's more like a daycare. Kids can go there from the age of 3 up until they start first grade, but it's not mandatory for parents to send their kids to kindergarten, and there is no mandatory curriculum either. Some kids may practice math and writing in kindergarten, but it's not a class setting, and the focus is usually more on playing and activities like doing crafts, singing together, going on field trips and those kind of things, while in the US, kindergarten is the year before first grade and it's part of the school system. That's why it's also called K to 12, kindergarten to 12th grade. So the kindergartens usually belong to a school and are a little more focused on academics. So same word but different meaning in Germany and the US. And what I find funny is that the German concept of kindergarten is what Americans also call preschool sometimes, while Vorschule, the literal translation for preschool in German, basically stands for the American concept of kindergarten. So it's somewhat switched. Some German kindergartens do offer a Vorschule the year before first grade to prepare the kids a little academically. I actually had no clue that Americans used this German word before I came here, and the first time I heard it, it sounded so funny to me. Gesundheit is what we say for bless you in German, and Americans seem to use it that way too. Especially among younger people, I found that they usually use it in a more funny way, but it can also be just used with a normal tone. The word itself actually just means health in German, so whenever someone sneezes, we wish them health.
Oh, kaputt.
Just like Gesundheit, I didn't know that this word was used in English before I moved to the US. We spell it with 2 T's in Germany, but we pronounce it the same way, kaputt. And it basically has the same meaning in both languages. It means broken, damaged, or destroyed, as in my phone is kaputt, mein Handy ist kaputt. Or it can also mean exhausted, as in I went hiking for 8 hours today and I'm so kaputt. Ich bin heute 8 Stunden gewandert, ich bin total kaputt. And just like in German, where we say etwas geht kaputt, you also say something goes kaputt in English.
Doppelganger?
Another one which I love hearing in English is doppelganger, especially because it seems kind of funny to me that you would use a rather long German word that even has an umlaut. I mean, okay, in English it's usually written with just an A, but people could also just say look-alike or double in English. Why use doppelganger? Anyway, I think it's fun, and I think I first found out about this when I watched the American show How I Met Your Mother in English as a teenager, because that's like a whole theme on that show, to find all the main characters' doppelgangers. This one I just recently used in my video on alcohol culture in Germany and the US. And I have to say that it still feels kind of weird to me every time I use this word in English, or even when I just hear it, because it actually has a completely different meaning in German. Bierstein, or just Stein in English, refers to a beer mug, traditionally made out of stoneware, but it can also refer to the more modern glass mugs, while in German, Stein means stone, and the beer mug is called Bierkrug. Some of my German viewers actually commented on my alcohol video and told me that in some parts of Rheinland-Pfalz, in the western part of Germany, people also use the word Stein when they refer to a liter of something. So they would say, ein Stein Bier bitte, 1 liter of beer please. It seems to be a regional thing though. I had never heard about this before, and I'm curious if there is any connection to the English use of the word, but I couldn't really find anything about this, so let me know if you know more about it. The next one is Spiel, and even though this has a different meaning than the word does in German, I really like the English meaning because we don't really have a German equivalent for it. In English, Spiel is a kind of speech, especially one that is long and spoken quickly and is intended to persuade the person listening about something. So this is often used in sales situations, and for example, you could say something like, "Oh, they gave me the whole spiel about why their university is the best in the country." In German, Spiel, capitalized, simply means game, and spielen means to play. This one is not exactly a loan word from the German language, but it does have Germanic origins, and I included it in this list because I personally think that it sounds exactly like the German word Stuhl. But it's actually a so-called false friend because it has a different meaning in the two languages. Stuhl in German is a chair, while Stuhl in English is what we call Hocker in German. Kind of similar, but not quite the same thing. Dachshund. When Americans first used this word with me, I had no clue what they were talking about because I wasn't familiar with the word, and I also couldn't tell that it was supposed to be a German word with the English pronunciation, but now I know that Dachshund can be used in German as well, but it's actually more common to call the dogs Dackel in German. Literally, this compound word consists of Dachs, badger, and Hund, dog. A badger dog, basically. And this is because the dogs were traditionally supposed to crawl into burrows and look for badgers. In English, this can also be used to describe a Dachshund, wiener dog, but it can also refer to just a wiener sausage, or it's also often used instead of penis. In German, we say Wiener. The German W is pronounced like an English V, and it usually refers to the sausage. Wiener Würstchen would be the long version. It can also refer to a Wiener Schnitzel, which is also something to eat, or it can simply be used for a person from the Austrian city of Vienna, which is Wien in German. Wanderlust. This is kind of an old-fashioned German word that we pronounce Wanderlust, and it's literally the desire to wander, so it means you want to travel. The word was used a lot in the literature of the Romantic era, but you can also call this Reiselust or Fernweh in German, which the last one is also an interesting word because it's kind of like the opposite of Heimweh, which is homesickness. So Fernweh pretty much means far sickness. This one is very similar to the German one, but it's not 100% the same. Angst, capitalized in German and with the German A, basically just means fear. And angst in English is also related to fear, but it describes a broader feeling of anxiety and apprehension. It's often used in connection with teenagers. Teenage angst is what a lot of young people experience throughout puberty, and you can also say you're feeling angsty in English. So in English it describes more of a general feeling, whereas in German, Angst haben means to be scared of something, and that's usually something a little more specific, like you're scared of the spider. The English meaning of angst doesn't have a good translation in German, but it could be translated with something like Existenzangst or innere Unruhe or Angstzustände. Kitsch is a concept that's really hard to explain actually, but according to the dictionary, it describes art, decorative objects, or design considered by many people to be ugly, without style, or false, but enjoyed by many other people, often because they are funny. So you could say, his home is full of 1950s kitsch. It means the same thing in German and in English, and it's also pronounced the same. There's also the English adjective kitschy, which is kitschig in German. Blitzkrieg. This is a military term and describes a strategy of warfare that includes short and fast attacks. The term is often used in connection with World War II, but it actually had been used way before that. We pronounce it Blitzkrieg in German, and it literally translates to lightning war because Blitz is lightning and Krieg is war. It's used the same way in both languages, and they even adapted the word blitz as a tactic in American football. This seems to be a very popular word in the US. I've been asked about this so many times. And what makes it so special is that this concept doesn't even really exist in the English language, which is why there isn't an English word to describe it, which is probably quite a strong statement about the German culture. Schadenfreude consists of Schaden, which means damage or harm, and Freude, which means joy. So this is the joy that you feel when someone else gets harmed or fails. So not very nice. All sports fans should know this one. Fußball in German means soccer, or football in British English.
So it came
Fußball in English refers to the bar game, which we usually call Kicker or Tischfußball in German.
Wow.
This is another concept that doesn't have its own English translation, just like Schadenfreude, and therefore the German word is used in English and some other languages too. Americans usually say Zeitgeist. In German we pronounce it Zeitgeist, and this consists of the word Zeit, which means time, and Geist, which means spirit. So Zeitgeist is the spirit of the time, which describes what's going on culturally, religiously, and intellectually during a certain time period. Woodstock was part of the 1960s Zeitgeist, for example. And in English, they even made it an adjective, which we don't even have in German, Zeitgeisty. Schnaps. This one I also mentioned in my video on alcohol culture. In German, we spell it like this and say Schnaps, and it means hard liquor. In English, it's mostly used as part of the name of certain liquors, like peppermint schnapps or peach schnapps.
Or Schweppes. Yeah.
Wunderkind in English, Wunderkind in German, and this literally translates to miracle child. Wunder is miracle, Kind is child. So it describes a person that is very clever or talented and becomes successful at a young age. One of the most common examples for a Wunderkind is Mozart. Poltergeist. This looks a little bit similar to Zeitgeist. Poltern means to clatter and Geist means ghost or spirit, and this particularly describes a ghost that makes noises in the house and moves objects. Whether you believe in that or not is a different story.
Schmutz.
And last but not least, the final word on my list is Schmutz. This one is pronounced and used the same way in both languages, and it means dirt. And schmutzi in English or schmutzig in German means dirty.
Well, my vocabulary has officially been audited. I have been sprinkling German into conversations this whole time without even realizing it. The funniest part is how naturally they now fit into American English, to the point where no one questions them. And it makes you think, how many other words do we use that we just assume are English? After watching this, I don't think I can trust the English language anymore. But I am curious though. Germans, what English words have you borrowed? Because if America has been borrowing from Germany for this long, I just know the relationship goes both ways. So feel free to let me know in the comment section, and if there were words that you know that wasn't mentioned in this video, please feel free to also drop that in the comment section. We have come to the end of today's episode. If this is your first time here, thank you so much for stopping by. Please smash that subscribe button, turn on your post notifications so you don't miss out on any of my videos. Thank you so much for watching, especially if you made it this far. I will see you guys in the next episode. Have an awesome day ahead of you. Bye.